Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. My name is Ashley and I'm back with another Cricut tutorial. And today we're going to be working on a Christmas gift. A generic Christmas gift that you can give to anyone that you have no idea what to gift them. And that is cash. That's right. We're going to be working on a cash gift for Christmas. That being said, what we are going to be using is something that looks like this. These are found in my cardstock warehouse along with the cardstock we'll be using today. But I want to talk a little bit about this. Technically, what these are chapstick lip balm holders for blister packs. So if you were looking for the technical term for these, that's what they're called. However, us crafters would like to call them money holders. So this is what we'll be using today to be gifting our cash gifts to those people that we have no idea what to give them, but we want to give them something for Christmas. We're going to be using this right here. We're just going to roll up some cash, put it in here, put it on a really cute card that we're going to make with our Cricuts, and then we're just going to be able to gift them. It's going to be super quick, super easy, and at the end of it, you're going to have one of those products that it just doesn't feel like a non-sentimental card. Less generic, you know what I mean? All right, let's get started. Did I mention we're going to need our Cricuts today? We are going to need our Cricuts. The very first thing you want to do is open up a blank window in Design Space. I already have one open, so we are ready to go. The other thing, on top of getting one of these money holders, you are going to want to grab the digital file that I have already created in my cardstock warehouse. So then when you already have that file, you just want to go to Upload and Upload Image. Then you're going to find that file. When you have that file, we just want to drag and drop it into Design Space. There it is right here, and all you want to do is press Upload. All right, the very next thing you want to do is just click on that uploaded file, and we're going to press Add to Canvas. Okay, when we have it loaded into Design Space, very first thing I would like to note here is I have sized this to fit perfectly for these blister packs. So this little area right here will house this thing perfectly. Once we roll the money in, take the 3M tape off and stick it on there, it'll fit perfectly. If you wanted to resize this, you totally could, but I would not make it any smaller. If you make it smaller, then this right here will not sit in this little empty space perfectly. So just know when you go to make this file, making it larger will be okay, but anything smaller than what you have here is not going to be good. Okay, so let's just drag this down, and all I want to do is right click and I'm going to press ungroup. There are two things that I want to change and or add to this project, so when we go to cut this, it's perfectly customized to our liking. Okay, so I have it all ungrouped. I'm going to move my Santa and all of his components. Let me move myself over. I'm going to take my Santa right here, shift on my keyboard. I'm going to click all of his components, and I'm just going to drag him away. Let me zoom in. Okay, so do you see this to and from right here? You could cut this out on cardstock. However, for how small those letters are going to be, it might get a little hard to re-glue them on top of your cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Cricut and use a marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make my Cricut do all that hard work for me, and I'm going to make it draw for me. So it's going to look nice and really professional and cute, and the Cricut's going to do the hard work. So what I'm going to do is click the to and the from. I'm going to come up here into operation, and I'm going to go down to pen. Okay, I'm going to keep it as a black pen because that's what I'm going to be using today. Now, if we were to go and press make, we would go to make, and do you see how to and from is not connected to our green? So this is our green and it's not connected. So if we go back to cancel, what we want to do is we want to select the to and the from, well, I guess the from and the to. We also want to press shift on our keyboard and click that very back green piece. And we want to go over here and press attach. What we just told the Cricut is we want to draw on that green piece of paper. So when we go to make it, let's go down to that green. Do you see how now that to and from is right in the space that where we want it to be? So now when we go into that green little layer, and we'll get into it when we go into the cutting area, but when we go to cut this, the Cricut is going to want to now draw exactly where we want it to be. Okay, so now let's go over to cancel. Okay, I am going to click on that green and I'm going to arrange it to the back because I want to add in the name and also who it's from. Now, if you are gifting this to a whole lot of people, or it's just going to be one of those generic things that just to drum up randomly, you can leave out the to and just hand write that in. But since I know exactly who these are going for, I'm going to insert a text box and I'm going to do one name for right over here for the to. I'm just going to make this smaller. Okay, so when I have the name sized in there like I want, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here into operation and I'm going to go into pen. And then for the font, I'm going to click that font. Okay, so this box is going to pop up. You can move this around if you wanted to better fit wherever it is that your eyes are. I'm going to leave it right here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is come over here to these lines right here, and I'm going to do writing. Now, the hardest part of any project is picking out the font that you want. Okay, I have finally picked out a font. Now that I have that done, I'm just going to click out of that. I'm going to put this back in my spot. Okay, I want that from. I'm going to use the same font. So all I'm going to do is selecting that to name, and I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to drag this down and I'm going to double click the box and I'm going to put my name. Okay, my name seems to be a little bit too big, so I'm just going to resize that. Okay, same thing we did with that to and from. We want to select both the names that we've added and also that green back layer, and we're going to press attach. So now when we go to cut this, the Cricut is going to use the pen to do to, from, and the two names that I have, and then also that green back layer, it's going to cut it out. So then we can arrange this to the back. Okay, now that we have the letterings all attached, this next step is definitely optional. However, when you're attaching things or gluing things at a later time and you want things to be lined up perfectly, this next step is like key. It's crucial. So do you see how the lettering to Foster from Ashley hugs very closely to that red line? Sometimes it might get too close, and if you glue over the top of it, it'll end up looking messy and you won't be able to read, whatever. If you want to ensure that where you are going to layer your cardstock on top of each other, what you want to do is we're going to move the Merry and Christmas over, and I'm just going to select over here this red piece, and I'm going to Command D, which is duplicate. This thing we are going to cut. Okay, I'm going to go back into this original red frame right here, and I'm going to go to Operation, and I'm going to go to Score. Now what I'm going to do is selecting everything, the score, and also our now green thing that has everything attached, and I'm going to press Attach again. So you are going to need the Cricut scoring tool for this project. But what now you just told the Cricut is A, we need to put the pen where we want the pen, but B, it is going to score where we need to glue this into place. So later when we go to assemble this, there is not going to be no hemming and hawing on where we need to glue things. We know exactly where those lines are is perfectly proportioned to where we need it to go. So it's just like a little tip and trick, especially if you're going to be working with small pieces or things that just need to be aligned perfectly. All right, that's it. That was done with the design process. It was that easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so all we need to do is go over here and to make it. And then we just need to pull a little bit of cardstock for this project. So for me, I'm going to be using for Santa's beard, I'm going to be using plain white cardstock. And for Merry Christmas and also his like fuzzy on his hat, I'm going to be using a white glitter cardstock. I'm going to be using black for the back of his shadow. I'm going to be using plain red for his hat. And then I'm going to be using my new dark burgundy for the Merry Christmas border, using some tan, and then this right here, I'm going to be using my dark green plain cardstock. All right, let's get to the cutting and assembling of this. Okay, we're going to start with the very first mat on our Cricut. So that's going to be plain white for me. I'm just going to load in a plain white. All of my cardstock is already pulled and underneath here. I'm just gonna slide this in and press that blinking arrow button. Okay, I'm gonna choose the fast cut mode on my Cricut, and I'm also gonna be cutting on cardstock mode for my Cricut, and then just press the C button. While this is cutting, I'm going to load in on my next mat the non-shed white glitter cardstock. Okay, then I'm just going to eject, switch out my mats. Okay, and for my cardstock, I always like to change it over to the cardstock plus mode and then press that C button. While that's cutting, I'm just gonna use some plain cardstock. This is a great project for if you had a whole bunch of scrap paper, because you can see like I am just using scraps of cardstock for this project. Okay, all you wanna do is eject, load in your black. You wanna make sure that we change this over from cardstock plus to the regular cardstock mode. Okay, and because this lettering is so small, I want to keep that on my mat. I'm not going to take that off, just so that it's easier for me to assemble later and I'm not going to be missing many pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to add in just a little bit of my red cardstock. This is my dark red wine glitter cardstock. It's so pretty. It's one of my newest favorite colors. And actually, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to change my cut settings over on my Cricut for my glitter cardstock. And so if you look, it did not cut all the way. So if that's the case and you forgot to do that too, instead of pressing the eject button, I'm gonna press the C button again. The Cricut is going to suck my mat into place and recut my cardstock exactly to where it just cut right now. Okay, let's check it out. See how now it's peeling off perfectly? So just that one additional cut was perfect. So we can just eject and we'll add in that light brown. Okay, so now we're going to add in the dark green. And remember, the dark green is going to be the one that has not only the scoring, but the pen feature too. So on the screen, it says that we need to first load in the scoring tool in position A. So I'm going to open up my position A. I'm going to load in my scoring tool, push down until you hear it click, and we're going to load it in. So it says the very first thing is the scoring stylus, and so I'm just going to press the C button. Okay, now what it wants you to do, now that it's paused, it wants you to open this up and take this scoring stylus out. Next, you want to insert one of your Cricut pens into the position A, click it into place, and press that clamp back in. When that's done, you want to press that C button again. Okay, when this is done, always make sure and take out your pen just so you don't dry out. You have no idea how many of these I've ruined because I forget to take the pen out. Then all you want to do is press the eject button, and there is our card cut out. Now you can see that there is like some score lines right here. That's telling us that we are going to glue right in this thing. We're gonna lay this right here, and those score lines are gonna get covered up, but everything is going to look so stinking cute afterwards. Okay, let's get to the gluing part. Okay, you will notice that my to and from have not been filled in with my Cricut. You could leave it like that if you wanted to, or you can just go back in. Okay, I'm going to take my Precision Craft glue, take this lid off. The very first thing I'm going to do is I am just going to put some glue. Because I have Precision Craft glue, I'm going to focus my glue inside my score lines. So everything, you could, if you wanted to, do this on the back side. However, it might get a little sloppy when you push this down. So I'm just going to focus my glue. You don't need a whole lot of glue. Cardstock is meant to lay down flat, so you definitely don't need too much glue. Okay, do you see where my glue lines are? They're inside the score lines. So now what I'm going to do is just pick up my glitter cardstock. I'm going to lay this on top of my glue lines inside of those score lines. Now those score lines are all hidden, and this is perfectly centered into place. Do you see that? Look at how stinking cute that is. Oh my gosh. Same thing I did before. I actually already know, you can tell with the font, like where the font is going to lay. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue and just put it in the middle of my lettering. Okay. Now that you have your glue on there, you just want to add in your lettering. Look at how beautiful this is. So stinking cute. We haven't even put that Santa on there yet. Okay, let's assemble this Santa. Okay, so the Santa layer, we got the very back black piece. Then let's do his hat. Okay, the next piece is going to be his beard. We got his little face, little mustache, and then his red nose. Just put a little bit of glue right there. Look at this little guy. Isn't he so cute? And just that glitter for his hat just makes it just sparkle just a little bit extra. All right, now let's put this. We're just gonna add some glue to the back of Santa. And we're gonna line up the shadow with our Santa. See, now look how everything is aligned perfectly. That's exactly what you wanted. Okay, well, I do not have any cash. But essentially what you're gonna wanna do is roll up some cash into here. You're gonna take this off, just like that. And then you're gonna put this perfectly onto, we wanna center this. There you go. And now it's centered on there and stuck. So now the recipient will have something super stinking cute to receive. A little bit of cash money for a Christmas gift. What do you think? Wasn't this such an easy project? So easy and so cute. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you later.